Hey guys! Alright, welcome back to another season, I suppose. I mean, I don't know if I'm keeping my first 30 episodes in what was essentially a whole pilot season of how to start a podcast. I don't know. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to not? It was more about how to do things with all the flubs and mess ups in between and stuff. I had a bunch of bits, or how do you say, regular features I was creating, and then decided to. Well, first I started announcing publicly that how good they were doing, and I almost killed the bits or features instantaneously. So the whole thing may or may not be up here on YouTube. Maybe pilot season episodes. I don't. Anyway, so here we are. We're back, or maybe we're just here originally. Still haven't decided on it yet. But maybe season. It doesn't matter. Let's just get into it. Where do we start? I do 15 minutes of just useless babble and then try and, just have somebody to hang out with momentarily, and then we go our own ways. That's why it's a Friday vlog, and yet I'm not really doing anything. Just at home most of the time is what I mean. You'll see the only changes are my wardrobe changes, and even those are getting quite repetitive. When I say getting, I mean assuming that you are seeing this previous stuff. Okay. Speaking of not doing anything tonight, I decided, it's Elton John's farewell tour, and this is the real one, not the one where he says farewell, goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, which was just, I think, a farewell to anybody who paid attention to the Broadway Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, looking back on it. Because, in the back of my mind, I was like, hasn't he done a farewell tour before? Anyway, so it's happening out here in Los Angeles at the Dodger Stadium, and so I decided maybe I can get a sneak peek without paying money much, if I drove up to the park behind the hills, gas money, you know what I'm saying, and checked it out from behind. I don't know if this would be behind the stadium, I suppose, behind the stage as well. And boy, was I off on last time I went up there. I saw it. Boy, was I off on my memory on how close it was, and the audio blasting out of the. Now, granted, the speakers were facing a different direction, but the opposite direction. But you would think you would have heard a little bit more. I believe he started off with, in case you weren't there or aren't going to be able to see the last tour for Elton John, I suppose. And I'm only doing 15 minutes, and then I gotta get out of here, right? But I believe it started off, I don't even remember, because, I don't remember. I don't even know, because I didn't hear quite what was happening. But it didn't start off with a speech. I can tell you that much. And then I thought I heard, after what was a brief minute and a half or something, of some kind of music playing. Maybe it was a 2-minute song or something. It seemed shorter than that. I heard sort of the keys banging to the song, those opening keys to the song Benny and the Jets. And that was fun, and you could hear the whole place going kind of nuts from that far and stuff. And, I could certainly see the traffic that still hadn't reached the stadium as well. But who would have known? 8:15. I thought I was going to be waiting there for a little bit longer. I showed up at 8 on the dot. 8:15, the show started. The lights went off. and then boom, place was covered in spotlights, and I'm guessing it was a little what do you call that? A little, I'll just say, sample of a lot of his hit songs or something. I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm guessing that was what happened. Okay, so moving on. The reason I had to get out of there before the show was over, even though I didn't tell you that yet, is because sometime quickly after 8, and I saw before I showed up, I saw a truck, an official truck from the city with the orange lights flashing and stuff, white truck, pickup truck, drive around where I just parked, and there were a couple parking spots that were taken, and lights were off on the cars and stuff, so I figured it'd be safe to check it out. No, you only get 15 minutes, or maybe till 8:30, and then that same truck will come back around and he'll yell things through some overhead microphone at whoever might be in the area about being towed away. So I only got to be there for about 15 minutes, which doesn't quite add up, I realize. But I tell you, I only heard 2 songs, and then I was out. Or 1.5 songs or something, whatever that first thing was. Anyway, so I did something. Yay. Probably took too much time talking about it. It might turn out sounding like a brag anyway. But either way, I figure, what I learned from previous dabbling into the topic is that maybe I should start off with something I learned this week as the number one way to get into something. I still haven't watched back on all these other little vlogs I've done to kind of remind me of what was going on and how I began to put things together. But I'd like to start out with something I learned from this week, and I suppose what we do is I film this Thursday night, out for Friday, and I suppose the first thing I could do is prove what day and time it is. Oh, geez. Nancy Pelosi stepping down or whatever she's doing. I think that happened today. And do I have any commentary on it? I like talking about things that change our lives. I love that. I realize as I'm speaking that sentence, I don't for certain know that the microphone's going to be working or that it'll be working well at all. So I'm really nervous about doing this. And now that I look up at the time, I realize I had no idea when this started. No good idea when this started. And so I don't know where to end either. So don't be surprised if it just cuts off, because I ain't going longer than 15:30 or something. Okay, where was I? Things I learned. Yeah, somebody stepped down. I don't even know how you could step down. I don't know when you could step down. I think she's the Speaker of the House, and that means the leader of the House of Representatives, I believe. I'm trying to show my intellect here, but not that it really matters. I learned, and maybe you see them, maybe you don't, but it doesn't matter. I learned, it's actually less embarrassing at this point to say this, but that my head is not just round from the widescreen lens, it's also how fat I got. Okay, so I was doing all these tapings during the pandemic, having no idea that I was eating like I want to say fat. There's at least one family member in my family who would take a certain, I suppose might have sensitivity towards the word. Only if I do, right? But anyway, I was turning into a fat ass one way or the other. So, who knew? This head is naturally this round. I'm looking at the screen above, which I should do myself justice and put it just right there. But yeah, so no big deal. I just had no clue, and I was starting to pinch the lens screen through After Effects to compensate for what I thought was me turning into a alien. But still haven't grown a beard yet, which is the goal and stuff. And I can't believe I was doing those shows and putting them out publicly, at least for a minute, without a beard. And I can't believe I'm doing it again. So there we are with my insecurities. I think overall we're doing great. I don't talk too fast. I don't feel like I'm talking. I don't feel like I need to talk too fast because I'm not talking to multiple people. It's just me here. So long sentences. Hopefully I can trim those down. But I don't know. Do we have to talk about anything of substance before I go? I feel like I certainly haven't delivered enough entertainment value. Maybe Elton John will do a long speech before he gets off stage. He has 2 more shows in LA, one of which might be televised or partially televised. I don't know. I only overheard. But there you go. There you have that with, hopefully he does, but he didn't say anything. So I'm talking about maybe how interpersonal he's getting off the bat, I suppose, is where we went with that. So maybe I did share enough details there now. Something of value or interest, something of important besides that you can get rid of me after 15 minutes. I'm trying to think. Little bit worried about the Idaho students, but I don't want to get into that. A little bit worried about looking away from the camera for too long as well. UFOs. Who would have known that I would... I think I might have wanted to talk about this back in the day. No, that doesn't sound like me. Yeah. Okay, so it does strike a chord, and as my memory serves me, while the coronavirus was running rampant, it was a great time for the government to release the fact that they didn't know what the hell was going on with these radar heat detection devices on their planes, detecting unidentified aerial phenomena, or as I prefer to say, UFOs, on their RAID cameras, or whatever they're called. You know what I mean. And not to mention how fast they're moving and how they're moving and stuff like that. Now, I suppose there's explanation. I don't want to get into, being a crazy guy. I feel like you're crazy either way. Let's be real. I mean, if you want to continue listening to me spout, nonsense or halfway making sense here, you could say you're crazy for believing that something so far away can reach Earth, and you could say you're crazy for not. You could argue that you're crazy for not. I mean, if we're really, now that I'm talking about it publicly, it's the most interesting part is I'm not seeing hypersonic speeds on the 3 videos I saw. So as quickly as I started talking about it, and I certainly don't want to come off as a guy that is super entertained by the topic, I realized I should probably shut it down, since, that little tic-tac thing on one of these 3 military videos he was able to break the tracking system, the tracking camera, maybe is what it's called, with that little fast, little jittery motion outside of the tracking. If you play video games, you know what I'm talking about. But hypersonic? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, when I say maybe, I mean it's more likely that it is, but I'm not so sure about what I'm seeing. I haven't been playing enough video games, I suppose. Have you? Comment down below. No. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm looking at the time and I'm best betting that it is time to go. All right. Well, we started off with some nonsense. I'm glad we got into everything we got into, I suppose. Let's wrap it up with a cute little bow. I will see you next week. And the first episode I ever did, I said, go fuck yourselves. I'd love to stick true to that theme. Something like, you know. But how about just see you next week?